And I'll go ahead and start off by saying that I think the biggest part of this season is just getting healthy. And I'll get into a lot of other stuff because I don't want to just harp on that. I just want to list Joe Alt missed 12 weeks, Marion Hampton missed 8 weeks, Khalil Mack missed 4 weeks, and Rashawn Slater missed the entire season. That's 2 offensive tackles and an edge rusher, which are 2 of the most important positions in football outside of quarterback, that missed a combined 20 weeks in the entire season, 38 weeks combined between the 3 of them. But offensive trenches, that's where I'm looking to address both in the draft and then also maybe a little bit in free agency. I did a couple of mock drafts earlier this morning just to kind of run it out, and I think that it actually sets up pretty well for us to hopefully be able to address both. It is tough in free agency. We're losing Khalil Mack, and then both of our guards are their contracts are up. So there's a possibility that we lose Khalil Mack and 2 interior offensive linemen, but they combined to allow 10 sacks this season, so maybe there's other places we could go to address that. But I'll start with the draft. So in the first round, we picked 22nd overall. We've only got 5 picks, which is not ideal, but we'll take it. We've got our 1st through 4th and then our 6th round, so we're only missing our 5th and our 7th round pick. But at 22nd, that's kind of the range where we might be able to get the first guard off the board. It's the Penn State guard, who I will not attempt to pronounce his name, but he's been very good the last 2 years. He is not allowed a sack in the previous 2 seasons at Penn State.
The IOAV.
Yeah, Ioagni. It's got a G in there. It's got a G in there.
Is it like in with Vega, though?
Maybe.
I think that's literally like he kind of goes by Vega. I could be completely making that up. But just in case you want to re-reference him.
Well, I will refer to him as Vega going forward. He's been a starter at Penn State the last 2 years and hasn't allowed a sack. And that includes matchups against Ohio State, Oregon, and Notre Dame in 2024. And then in 2025, when he also did not allow a sack, he faced up against Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana. And so that's 3 teams, good defenses, 3 or 5 Big Ten teams, and Notre Dame that put guys in the NFL, and he's not allowing sacks, which I love to see. If we don't get guard, if we do not go get Vega, or if he's already off the board, I would then look to address interior or defensive line. Someone like Caden McDonald from Ohio State for the interior, or if we decide that Khalil Mack and I believe Odefe Owe, who we just traded for, is also his contract ended this year. So if both of them walk, or if we don't extend them, depending on how the edge rush shapes up, Akeem Messidor is also around this 22 range. Only issue with Messidor is he'll be 25 on draft night, so he's an older prospect. And then finally, if for some reason guard goes, I saw a mock draft where the Steelers took Vega, and then if Messidor and McDonald both get taken, I would not hate going best available wide receiver, which would be Disnell Boston or Mekhi Lemon. Now, I assume both of them will be gone, but in this scenario where another team is like, oh, we just really need defensive help, they pass on the wide receiver if they would fall to us. I don't see that happening, which is why I listed out the most likely options of guard or defensive line. But if another team really likes Vega, or they really like some of those defensive linemen and they pass on the wide receivers, I wouldn't hate bringing in like a legitimate wide receiver 1 to keep Ladd in the slot and then kind of substitute in for Quentin Johnston, because he had a good year this year, but not fantastic. And then JP, you said to do first round. I accidentally did 2nd and 3rd round as well. So 2nd and 3rd round, if we don't go wide receiver in the first, Elijah Surratt is a possibility. He's a bigger guy. He's like 6'2", 210, I believe, and has been playing outside wide receiver at Indiana, which I don't hate. McConkey's smaller. He's only 6 foot. But my dream would be Romello Height from Texas Tech. I really like Romello Height. I like him a lot. And if he fell to 55th, that would be awesome. And that'll once again kind of be dependent on where we go in the first round and what we do at edge rusher, extending guys. And then the 3rd round, Jake Slaughter is center 2 on the PFF big board. So a 3rd round center, I would not hate to, provide some more depth in the offensive line, to get a potential starter. Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. It's crazy. I feel like that he's now a 3rd round.
Deny for future.
Thank you, Deny. See, I couldn't remember which one it was, and I
gotta
knew.
make sure we're ready for
Deny.
draft night.
Yeah,
Deny.
we'll practice all of our name pronunciations.
Especially for these TikToks. If you pronounce a name wrong in the TikTok, it's over for you.
Gotta pronounce the Vega guy. We're gonna have to get on that one.
Yeah, I tried looking. I've looked it up in the past, and like it's really hard to find name pronunciations of college football players. But we'll go find a Penn State beat writer on Twitter and DM him and be like, hey, look.
Help us, please.
Yeah.
There are names, like you'll see names that are crazy and you think, no way I'll ever pronounce that. Like when I first listened how he pronounces his last name, I was like, no way. Antetokounmpo or however you want, Antetokounmpo, however you want to pronounce it, was pronounced 20 different ways for 5 years.
Yeah.
So there's still kind of 2 different ways to say it.
Uiagalelei.
Yeah, who, by the way, is on the Chargers. So crazy. And with
that is crazy.
Who is it? It's the North Dakota State guy.
Trey Lance.
Thank you. Trey Lance, his contract is up, and so DJ Uiagalelei might be the backup going forward. We'll see. I doubt it. But Deny Dennis Sutton, would not hate that. Jacob Rodriguez is also sitting ranked around here, which I think would be like, I don't get how you have the kind of season he had and still be in the third round pick or the third round draft or in the third round
they're
range.
Playing in a farmers league, essentially.
I guess.
It's like playing in League One.
But I really think that if he has a good combine, you have to look at that kind of like statistical season that he had, and he could very quickly climb up out of the third round. And then Mikhail Kamara is also here in the third round as a possible draft pick. And I just threw him in there because, like, it's just such a cool story of his going from JMU to Indiana, winning the championship, going back this year and winning the championship. So would love to have him. But that's kind of where I'm looking to go in the draft is trenches primarily. And then potential wide receiver. I didn't look into secondary, and like I said, maybe a linebacker. Free agency, couple big contracts that will be ending. The first of those is Khalil Mack. I would love to bring Khalil Mack back. He dealt with injury this year, which led to his second lowest production. He only had 6 sacks, which is tied for second lowest of his career. But I think there's still a place for him. Other places, hold on, I'm pulling up the other guys that we have. Like I said,
Jerry Tart, Keenan Allen,
yes,
Denzel Perryman, obviously the guy you traded for, Odafe Owe.
Yep.
Tony Jefferson, who started. You've got all 3 of your running backs that aren't the first-round pick, Amari Hampton and Kamani Vidal, who's a restricted free agent, but Hassan Haskins and Najee Harris coming off his Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Rip Najee Harris.
Also, like I said earlier, both guards would be due up for it. Like their contracts are both up. They allowed 10 sacks, 5 each this season, which is not great from guard. But maybe if you get the tackles back, they're both young. I believe this is both of their first contracts. And so, yeah, that's right. They both got 3 years of experience. They're both 26, so that this should be both of their first contracts. If you think that they're really good and that they just kind of suffered because offensive line is one of those things where if you've got weaknesses, it damages everybody. And so if you think that having your second or third string tackles out there hurt them, and you think that having the starters out there, they could really kind of thrive in that situation, I wouldn't hate bringing them back. I will say both of Cleveland's offensive guards are both due up. They're both going into free agency this season. They're both in their 30s. They've both been at Cleveland for 6+ years. I think one of them has been there for over 10 years, like he's been his whole career there. I don't know if they're in love with Cleveland, and so that's why they're staying. But at this point, for one of them, it'll be rebuild like 3, and for the other one, it's rebuild number 2, I guess. So maybe they're interested in going somewhere and trying to win.
Yeah, Wyatt Teller and Joel Petonio.
Yes.
The 2 you're talking about, they were part of Baker's really
exactly. Well, Petonio, I believe, has been there since like 2014 or 2012, so he's been around.
Go win with the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's something coming out L.A. It's a little bit warmer, sunnier than Cleveland, Ohio.
Perfect timing.
Yep. So
guard, I would either extend the guys we've got or go out and get somebody in free agency because there are some great options. Odafe Owe, I'm gonna go ahead and give a spoiler for I think JP suggested what was it the best player that nobody knows their name.
Yeah.
He's a guy who I didn't know his name until we traded for him, and even then I feel like he gets overshadowed because we have Khalil Mack on the team, who's a huge name in NFL pass rushers. He had 11 sacks from weeks 7 until the wild card. I mean, he had a ridiculous.
I would have mentioned him and Tuli Peloto.
Peloto, yeah. But we trade for him week 6 to the wild card. He starts one game, and then the rest of the games he just comes in off the bench and totals 11 sacks. I mean, it was just a ridiculous season after 0 through his first 5 weeks in Baltimore.
I got bad news for you, Sanders.
What?
That's a commander.
Odafe Owe?
Yeah. So.
Oh,
unlucky.
Okay. Well,
that's tough. Hate to hear that.
I also would have said Tariq Still.
Yeah.
I thought he had a great year.
So he's a guy who I would really love to extend because he's also younger. I don't think he is as old as Khalil Mack. So that's someone who, let's see, where is he down here? There he is. He's only 27, 4 years of experience. So would love to extend him and bring him back. And that could be where maybe you bring him back, let Khalil Mack walk, and you go draft a guy to play across from him in the first or second round. Other stuff, we have a ton of cap space. We've got the third most cap space. I think it's like 60, or it might also be 70 million.
It's gonna be more because
80 million.
Is it 80?
And y'all are y'all more.
Well, that's what I get for not writing it down and just saying it's the third most. Is that over the cap?
Yeah.
Yeah, 80 million then. I just wrote down third most instead of the number, which is huge. But like you said, that can guys get expensive. Edge rushers are expensive. Offensive linemen are expensive. If we decided not to draft a wide receiver, but we think we need somebody, maybe we trade for A.J. Brown if the Eagles are trying to move him off. I think would be a good landing spot for him because the Eagles will obviously try and keep him out of the NFC, especially the NFC East. So AFC team would make sense. He would be expensive. So that'll be something to kind of keep track of is how do we run through that money because we have a lot of it. Coaching, we fired our offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, and right now the Mike McDaniel, not McDaniels, no S, is kind of the leading candidate. Yeah. But I think it seems like he's made it clear that if he doesn't find the head coaching job he wants, then we're like the coordinator job he's going to take. Now, I think he's still in talks with a couple of head coaching situations. But I do think that I was listening to a podcast today, and they were saying that like there are at least one, if not maybe several head coaching jobs that they like. I would pass up on that to go be the coordinator at Los Angeles, like the Raiders job. Like because if you go be the coordinator at Los Angeles for a year or two, you can get a better head coaching job in 2027, 2028. So that'll be something to kind of monitor is how Mike McDaniel approaches his offseason, where he lands. Jesse Minter, our defensive coordinator, is the lead candidate for the Ravens job right now.
He's gone.
Yeah, so that's really tough, but we've got a lot of pieces, so I'll be interested to see how we handle that. The weird thing about NFL coaching, and I'm not a huge fan, is once you get a job, you're always going to have a job. It's very odd. It doesn't matter how bad you are at it, you're going to get another chance. It's just very, I don't know. You don't hear a whole lot of new names.
You can only really take yourself out of head coaching consideration and turn yourself into just a coordinator.
And even then, I think you've got guys who've been atrocious head coaches who are now getting their second stint of being a head coach.
They'll get interviews and they might get a second stint, but eventually it'll be just coordinator.
Dennis Allen gets another swing at it somewhere?
No. Yes, he's going to get another swing at it.
I wish pity on those teams.
No, I mean, you talk about like the teams who interviewed not Jason Garrett, the old Cowboys coach, and Titans fans are like, please no, anything but this. It's like it's kind of funny. Once you get in, you're just kind of always in the system, and you're always going to get interviews and chances. I don't know what we're going to do about DC, but I'll be interested to see that going forward. That's kind of everything. Team MVP, it's Justin Herbert.
Herbo.
I know that's very basic. I know it's very basic, but he legitimately carried this team on his back into the playoffs. And I don't know how you could watch the games and not see him like working with an awful offensive line to get to 11 wins.
I don't know. Statistically, y'all had the 9th best points per game defense in the NFL and the 5th best yards per game defense in the NFL. But
maybe get Derwin James some love.
I love Derwin James. Love Derwin James. But
Pro Reference agrees that's your AV leader of the year, which is essentially their stat for WAR.
Is Herbert?
Herbert was.
Who was second?
I don't know. I guess I could look
somehow.
If you can't, I don't know. Then don't worry about it. I was just curious.
Is it I don't know. That's going to be I feel like we don't have any other great players at like the key. Maybe it might be Owe.
Tuli Peloto. He had 13 sacks this year.
Okay.
Shout out
Tuli. All right. That's all I've got for the Chargers.
What do you want for next year?
What I want for next year? Playoff win. You have to win a playoff game. have got to win a playoff game.
I got a suggestion for that then.
Oh, boy.
Maybe consider Ty Simpson.
Oh, my gosh. I thought you were going to say DJ Uyunglele.
Given
I don't know. Blake
success,
Shapen might be a good 7th-round flyer. With a good offensive line. With a good offensive line, Blake Shapen.
If you count conference championships as postseason, he has one.
More than Herbert.
Big 12 championship. Yes, this is true. So maybe that is in consideration. He will be in the...
Do we count bowl games as postseason wins?
I don't think you can with the amount.
I mean, I think he won the Red Box Bowl like 10-3 one year.
I would count like the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Not the Red Box Bowl, then?
No.
Okay.
Well, we will not be taking a quarterback. Maybe a nice 7th-round draft pick. Maybe that's how we address backup, is we draft a guy. That's not uncommon. But
there is no QB to take in the 7th round because no one declared. Because everyone just gets money back in school.
No, there definitely is. There definitely is.
You have Blake Shapen. You have Morton from Texas Tech as a potential option. You have Mark Gronowski from Iowa as a potential option.
Dyer.
By the way, Blake Shapen's average draft position.
Is that Tyler Van Dyke I see?
It is.
Wow.
Shapen's average draft position on PFF Mock Draft Simulator right now is 71.
No way.
So people are joshing and picking him in the first 2 rounds, apparently. So
a lot of people too, because there's a lot of. I saw
people love them some Blake Shapen.
So like, for him to be drafted that high on average. So PFF started this new thing called like mock draft leaderboards, and so you can see how many teams have had mock drafts done for them. The Dallas Cowboys have had 36,000 mock drafts in the last 7 days. And so
they got 2 first-round picks.
For Blake Shapen to be averaging in the 70s, that means that thousands of people are like, yeah, this is the guy taking the top 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Which that just seems ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe you sell yourself on, behind a good offensive line, he can make throws.
This is true.
Are those really? Hold up, I'm pulling up the quarterbacks.
There's a ton of them have stupid ones. Like Tyler Van Dyke had 50.
I mean, Diego Pavia is a 5th or 6th round
Zach
pick.
Calzada,
Sawyer Robertson,
52.5.
Sawyer Robertson is player 204 on the PFF big board. So I mean, you're looking at like a pick in the 6th round.
A lot of Mississippi State guys here. I'm not seeing a lot of Aggies. Besides Zach Calzada.
Yeah, gig 'em.
Joe Fagnano. I think he was the touchdown interception leader in FBS, or he was up there. He had a fantastic ratio.
I'm just saying, like, it used to be the guy who taken the 7th round was, I don't know, say Brock Purdy, who he was a 3-4 year starter at Iowa State, and now you're looking at taking potentially Tyler Van Dyke, who didn't even start for his team anymore.
Or
Blake Shapen, who got benched halfway through the season.
Miller Moss, Baron Morton.
Tommy Stevens was a 7th round pick for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, because Tommy Stevens was a dog.
Crazy.
Anyway, playoff win is the expectation for next year. Justin Herbert MVP. No, I'm kidding. That'd be crazy. I would love that. That'd be sick. But no, it's not an expectation.
I mean, that he honestly may have a higher chance of winning MVP than winning a playoff game, if you really think about it.
This is true. Kind of undeniably
I mean, based on what we've seen from his postseason performances compared to his regular season performances.
Yeah. The non-joking first-round pick I was going to suggest was marrying his guy with your team, Casey Concepcion.
I thought about bringing that up.
Yeah.
Dynamic speed threat, which is something you don't have at receiver at least.
Yeah.
He will say he's not the most natural catcher of the football.
Yeah, I will also say
there's some body catch in his game, which could give you some Quentin Johnson PTSD.